He can't go back and the way at the start he's had.
All done at $1.5 million last time.
Big Evs has won the Breeders' Cup.
Stallion qui va triompher nettement.
Stallion and Sean Levy are up in the Guineas.
This month's News You Can Use segment is presented by Darley. Darley's Night of Thunder is currently the leading sire of 3-year-olds in Europe this year with 45 individual winners. And he is the only stallion in Europe with a winners to runners strike rate in excess of 50%. That's unheard of. And his is 53%. He is head of champion sire Frankel and his own great sire Dubawi. Night of Thunder's top 2-year-olds this year are led by the one and only Fairy Godmother, winner of the Albany Stakes at Royal Ascot, and they include the Aga Khan's impressive Curragh maiden winner, Hazdann. Keep an eye on 3-year-old Ombudsman 2, as he is from the Gosden stable. He's unbeaten, and with a Timeform rating of 106p, he is surely bound for group races soon. On this week's News You Can Use, we are proud to introduce Emma Berry, the cornhole champion of France, along with Sue Finley. How you doing, Emma?
Well, I've been practicing my cornhole and also revising my form for this week's King George on Saturday at Ascot. Big weekend coming up.
Well, Emma, I think the question about the King George is everybody's going to be asking. 2 Breeders' Cup turf winners, Rebels Romance and Auguste Rodin, the last 2 Breeders' Cup turf winners will meet in this race. What's your take on that? Who's likely to be the favorite? Who do you think will win?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, current favourite is Auguste Rodin, and we all know with him he can be absolutely tremendous and sometimes quite terrible. They've only met once before, these two, and that was in Dubai when Rebels Romance won the Shima Classic and Auguste Rodin was last. So, it's round 2 now. It's by no means just a 2-horse race, but we saw what I'd like to think of as the real Auguste Rodin at Royal Ascot when he won the Prince of Wales Stakes really nicely, coming back to the form that we know he can produce, on his good days. So I guess everyone just holds their breath going into this, hoping that he's going to, pull out all the stops and do what he can do best. But, Rebels Romance is, he's 6 now. He's so consistent. He's traveled all over the world. He's, I think, won 13 of his 18 races or something like that. He's just, a terrific performer all around the globe. It'd be great to see him get his Group 1 in England, where he's trained obviously by Charlie Appleby most of the time, although he does spend a lot of time on aeroplanes.
Well, Emma, also on the immediate horizon over there is Goodwood, this particular 5-day meeting known worldwide as Glorious Goodwood. What give us what you're anticipating to be the highlights of Glorious Goodwood this year?
Well, the Sussex Stakes is always really the week's highlight. That's on Wednesday. I'm just going to dip in quickly before that as a real confirmed lover of stayers. And we start with the Goodwood Cup on the Tuesday, next Tuesday. And that's always a terrific contest. I mean, if people think Epsom is a weird track, they should go and see Goodwood because it's a real sort of helter-skelter downs track and uphill, down dale, all over the place. But we're going to see Kyprios hopefully come back. He won the Goodwood Cup 2 years ago, came back in June and won the Ascot Gold Cup for the second time. But in between, he's had a death-defying injury, and it's terrific to see him back around. But I guess really what we're all mostly looking forward to is the return of Stallion, who is really building up into the outstanding 3-year-old colt, I think, certainly in the miling division in Europe this year. And he won the St James's Palace in his last run at Royal Ascot. He's the Irish 2,000 guineas winner, and he was second in the 2,000 guineas at Newmarket to Notable Speech, who we hope will be back in action in the Sussex Stakes. He sort of flopped at Ascot, so it'll be great to see him back, and a proper battle between the 2 guineas winners. But also in the mix is Henry Longfellow from Ballydoyle, trained by Aidan O'Brien, of course, and he went really close to Stallion last time at Ascot, and I think it's going to be an absolutely absorbing contest, not just for 3-year-olds, of course. They're taking on older horses as well, but they will be the market leaders for sure.
What's going on with the other King George a little bit later on the week? Because I'm really looking forward to seeing Big Evs. Can we expect to see Big Evs running?
I think so. I believe so. That he's certainly entered. We're a little way out from Goodwood as we're recording, but that seems to be the plan. Back to 5 furlongs for him, and we're back to a sort of sharper 5 furlongs, if you like. He will be taking on again Asphora, the Australian mare, who turned up at Royal Ascot and did what we've seen lots of Australians do in the past, won a Group 1 very nicely. And they'll be hopefully back in competition again. But Big Evs, he had such a glorious 2-year-old year, culminating at the Breeders' Cup last year. And then, he hasn't done much wrong so far. He won on his debut and was third at Ascot. So it'd be great to see him back. I'm particularly looking forward to him getting, back to York for the Nunthorpe. But yeah, hopefully we'll see him at Goodwood first.
Can I just ask Emma to quickly explain for those of you that have never been? It's like Ascot and Royal Ascot. You've got Goodwood and Glorious Goodwood. Can you explain to people what makes it glorious?
I suppose it's just the feature summer meeting. It was always a real highlight, I suppose, of the English social scene through the summer. It's 5 days now. It's and because it's midsummer, it should be glorious. But we all know the English weather isn't always playing ball. So yeah, it's like the tag it always had for that particular, and it's the best racing of the year at Goodwood in this week.
Well, Emma, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy cornhole schedule to join us this morning on the TDN Riders Room with news you can use. Some great things coming up in Europe, and we'll all be paying attention, and we'll catch up with you again in a couple of weeks.
Great. Look forward to seeing you and showing off my cornhole trophy.
Thanks, Emma.